All right, what's going on, guys? Testing 1 2 1 2. I want to see. Hold on. Let me see if I can share this actual link to the team. Let me know, guys, if you can actually hear me. I'm just testing out here a few things. So I just want to know if you guys can hear me before we start. Let's wait a bit more. Okay, perfect. So you can hear me. All right, great. Perfect, perfect. Well, I see there's a little lag, or I guess that's when that happens when streaming, but okay. Got it. Perfect. So just let me know, guys, if you're having some sort of issues with the video or the audio as well, and if you can hear me right. All right. Okay. So meanwhile, we're waiting for the rest of you guys joining in. Let's go ahead and check it out. Check out what Bitcoin's been doing recently. I did share this setup with you guys. Why do I think? Why do I think that Bitcoin is still um, in this bull run? Let's go ahead and try to analyze this thing from from the beginning. So, well, we do have, of course, Bitcoin, as you can see, that big skyrocket. There's a lot of people saying, no, Bitcoin is going to crash again. I mean, it's not going to skyrocket forever, right? It will eventually start pulling back or having a crash, depending on what's happening. So right now, I think we're still up for this bull run. I think we're going to continue pushing up. It looks extremely overbought. Yes, to be honest. But I think that we're not done yet with this bull run. We might still have more to go. So we see that we are at the moment in between 60K and 70K right now in this area, right? So price, it's in the middle. It did reach a little higher before that pullback, that drop that we had there, right? Now, Bitcoin is like this. You have to understand this crypto. Um, Whenever you see the price, skyrocketing, you see this big meltdowns right here. This is where most people panic and they start selling whatever crypto they have, right? Because they see these big spikes, big meltdowns. The reason why this drops is, big institutions are also taking profits. If you think about it, those people who enter those big institutions, big guys with big money who enter when price was below 50K, right? Because if you see, price actually skyrocketed. It went very strong from the 40K, 50K, 60K, 70K, almost straight up, right? Just a little consolidation right here for a few weeks, I would say. 13 days, yeah. It consolidated before that skyrocket, right? Now, don't you think that, I mean, if you are a guy with a lot of money, you enter from the 40K from when Bitcoin was at 40,000. Let's say you placed $100,000 into this thing, $200,000, I don't know, $1 million. When price skyrocket and you are already $20,000 up, right? Don't you think it's about time? Price was reaching that record high, right? The 70K, around the 70K record high before price tanked, right? What's happening right here is that these guys are probably taking some profits out. Believe me, they are taking they are taking profits. So the reason why it drops like that suddenly is because there's big guys, big institutions closing positions, right? This is why it all of a sudden drops. It loses strength. right? That drop also went down, tapping back into the 60K. This is a good zone to buy again. And guess what? That's what they're doing. You see this big spike up? This is known as a potential demand zone. That wick right there, it's a demand zone. Price eventually climbed back down. It actually went back down, tapping into that demand. And as soon as we see that tap, you see what happens? We have another displacement up with the market structure shift, or chuck, whatever you want to call it, right? Big explosion right here to the upside. Price pulling back to OTE, optimal trade entry. And this is when I was looking for my position. If I keep going in lower time frame, we see we had another sweep one more time. We are tapping into this demand zone. Again, another similar week right there to the one we're seeing on higher time frame. And you see we're respecting OTE price after this last sweep. We're starting to displace up. So we are touching a fair value gap that was created just right here in this area. We see the price skyrocketing from there, just pushing up, right? Now, I did share this with you guys. As I mentioned, I did share it with on the free group. I did share it even on Trading View. If you follow me on Trading View, just make sure to follow me there, because I do post setups as well there from time to time, some videos. So I'm expecting price to continue, and probably from here, this target is like the closest target that we can get, just basically using the fib from the high to the low, just understanding that we were at discount. So going from here to this recent high, this is the most, like I can say, the most decent target. Okay, I'm sure that the price will most likely be reaching the 70K from here, to be honest. You know what I mean? And then probably eventually, who knows, even going for the record highs. We can even say that we had actually a little channel right there, downtrend. I don't know if you can see that little flag that I marked up. I know this is not ICT, right? But there's a nice channel. Channel is just being broken today. A nice retest and continuation. So anyways, this is another type of thing or a strategy. So that's what's happening in there. So I just hope it makes sense. And I hope you guys probably you did take the chance. And so now, with that being said, we're going to go on NASDAQ and S&P just to see what's going to happen this week. What are we going to be having? Or is the market going to be continuing pushing up, or are we going to be having a pullback? This is what we have at the moment. We are, let's see, on the weekly. That weekly candle finished strong. So we see that last week closing above this previous high. However, it did fail to displace above this high. So probably expecting, a little correction to the downside. I think we're going to go lower a little bit more probably before it pushes back up. Eventually, of course, I want this record high to be taken, at some point. But right here, if we go back on the daily time frame, we see that the price recently got that sweep right there. This was on Friday. That Friday candle, the way it closed, is telling me that we might actually go for this highs first. You know what I mean? And respecting these lows. Why? Because it failed to displace below this low, closing above. Right? Well, let's see. It's going to be interesting. I'm going to be waiting for New York. Of course, I'm not going to be looking for any entries at this hour, but expecting price to eventually go for the daily high. So in here, if we are in a 1 hour, 15 minute, this is how it's looking on a 15 minute. Again, we have another type of little downtrend here, a bullish flag. Price, this is the daily high, there's a markup, and this is the daily low. So I want to see tomorrow. I want to wait for New York session. I want to see where price is going to be right here. Okay, because there's a slight chance the price might actually go towards the daily high based on how it closed on Friday. But it's a decision. So my favorite days to trade definitely are Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. Mondays and Fridays, I don't like them because they tend to be very more disrespectful, choppy. There's no clear direction. You know what I mean? So gotta be careful with that. So I want to wait. I want to see what is going to happen here. If we go on the 1 hour, you also see that you see this big ass fair value gap right here at the bottom. We just had a reaction in there. So it could mean something, you know, that tap, and then we have a displacement to the upside. Probably here we're having a change in the state of delivery. And price might be looking to continue displacing up and eventually going for the record highs. But I don't know. Gonna have to wait for that and see what type of news also we're having this week. But yeah, no, at this point, you see we had a little gap right there that was created by the opening. Let's check out S&P. Yeah, S&P creating new lows right now. So we had an S&P divergence. Let me break it down. Let me actually break the screen in two parts here so we can see simultaneously. So you see that S&P 500 is more bearish, or at the speed that it went down, it was way faster than Nasdaq. You see that daily, this, let's see, this was a daily low. Like, come on, where is it? Even this low. Okay, let me mark it up here. So this low right here is actually this low, you know. So we're having a big divergence right here. Price on S&P is creating lower lows, while we're still on the higher lows. We're very far. Nasdaq is very far away from that daily low right there. So we're having a big divergence right here, and this is what is it's making me think that we might have some sort of momentum on Monday, but I want you guys to be very cautious tomorrow. We had a big divergence at the top as well, as you can see. Look at the speed of this thing. Once the divergence was formed at the top, the same on Nasdaq. Nasdaq reacted nicely to that 50-minute fair value gap, and we had a move. That move was not as fast as S&P. S&P went directly to the low, sweeping the low. We're not sweeping this low. You know, so this divergence at the bottom is information right now. It's currently being formed. So all we have to do right now is just wait for New York session, and or at least London. You know, let me check US 30. Just in case, guys, you want me to check a particular pair or something different, just let me know in the comment section. And I can also review it. We're very extended right here. You see that US 30 is also strongly bullish on the weekly again. We're very strongly bullish. So going on the daily, this is the last move, big push. I'm seeing this, to be honest, still strongly bullish. Let's see how it's going to be reacting in this fair value gap right here. We may continue a little lower. Are reacting at the 50% of this imbalance for price to then continue pushing up. I normally don't trade US 30. From time to time I check it, but yeah, it's just this huge imbalance. This was caused by the FOMC. I want to see price, to be honest, probably drop a little lower, a little deeper, and then we could be targeting again highs. But I'd like to see the price probably drop a bit more to give more opportunities for buys, you know. So waiting for that. Gonna be waiting for that. Let's check gold. Also right here. This was a buy that I caught with the team. This was the day of the FOMC, but I was in the buy like a day or two ago. Yeah, the one day before the FOMC, I was already in that position. Price accumulated, you know, it kept consolidating for a while in this area, but this was actually a good setup right here. Look, I'm gonna break it down here on H4. We are in this psychological level. I like to use psychological levels. There's a big imbalance right here at the bottom. I like to use psychological levels, like rounded numbers on gold. They tend to act really nice as support and resistance. I know that, you know, ICT traders will say, wow, you're using support and resistance. Well, yeah, still on gold, I like to use it. It's just a little style I'm still holding, because I'm not, I mean, I've been trading just normal price action, just regular, you know. I come from trading all type of patterns, bullish flags, bearish flags, support, resistance, all of that stuff since the very beginning. And then I jumped into ICT. So this is something that I still from time to time like to, you know, give it a chance. So price is struggling right here to go below. We have that last sweep right here. Price is tapping into the 2150 psychological level on gold. And then, of course, after sweeping all this liquidity that was created, price displaces up. We have that big push to the upside. Then I'm using my Fibonacci from the high to the low, just measuring the OTE right here. We do have a change in state of delivery right there. And I was actually placing a buy limit order right there. This entry actually got activated at around 2 in the morning for me. I was sleeping at that time, but I did leave my buy limit order place in there when I went to bed. So anyways, price struggled a lot, did not move. Why? Because it was literally waiting for FOMC report to come out. As soon as they came out, boom. This could have easily go against me, to be honest. This could have easily go against me, you know, with the actual news. But in this case, it went in our favor. And the formation was actually really good. I love that displacement to the upside, price pulling back to discount, and we are respecting OTE. And then from here, price, again, sort of choppy, waiting for that report at 2 p.m., and that's when it skyrocketed. So where are we right now? You see the price went again for the next psychological level, which is the $2,200, at 2,200 price on gold. And we sort of broke down again. This was other news. I think this was on Thursday. We were also having news right here. So dropping. Okay, this drop now is going into, let me clean all of this stuff now. We don't need it anymore. So it's interesting right now because a lot of people, and yeah, I could be actually right, because it is. And in this area, I want to mark it up, all of this. This is a potential demand in this area, potential demand zone. What I don't like is the price just skyrocket, and then from there is pulling back now. I don't see much liquidity being created right here in this area. You know, the price just went so fast to the upside, and this could be a manipulation, a little trap right here. So let's see what's going to happen tomorrow. But I think we might actually have, see, I'm going to mark up because again, this is something that I still do, especially on gold. And gold tends to do this type of things, like when it breaks a consolidation. Let me change the color of this thing. Something like that. All right, so we are in here. Probably in a, is it a wedge or a channel? Something like this. We're sort of creating this little reversal flag. So let's try to pay attention and see if it's going to maintain and stay in between this thing. Like, let's say tonight it's going to be doing something like this, and then, you know, it's very likely to just simply continue accumulating right here and then tapping in this zone. But we might actually have a bounce right here in this psychological level, and I'm kind of expecting that, you know, that bounce right here and going back up. So I like that reversal. This is sort of like a reversal flag, right? So you see these lows that we're just leaving behind. All these lows is liquidity right there being formed, right? So probably the price might actually go for these lows. And then this is what I'm expecting, right? I want to see probably price do some sort of sweep right here, and then boom, and then now we can go all the way up. So something like that. This demand zone, it could still be valid, you know, it's possible. If you happen to see the reaction right here and also the break of this flag, you see the break, you could be entering at the break. You know, because yeah, now you have the confirmation because the price is already bouncing off and rejecting that demand zone right there. But if not, if you don't see, price just keeps going down, 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 and you don't see any reaction, price is not ready probably to push up until it sweeps liquidity, until it takes some of these lows. You know what I mean? Hope it makes sense. So let's see. Yeah. That's probably about right. Gold is very sensitive also to news, you know, especially lately with all this FOMC meetings and all this crap going on in the world. You know, it might get actually nuts. But guys, those who are joining in, just let me know in the comments and on chat if you want me to review probably a particular pair or something you're seeing on a currency pair or something that I can actually check. So I'm going to start with GBP USD, probably right here. This is something I was seeing recently. This is based on smart money concepts. And not sure if this is actually going to be happening, but we did have a big reaction recently. And this was also, we had a lot of news this week. So look at this massive drop right there after this rejection. So I'm going to be waiting because I don't have much structure right here, to be honest. I kind of want to see a pullback. You know, after this big drop, expecting some sort of pullback. So I want to see more structure. I want to see price pushing back up somewhere around this supply and see if you can get an entry model right here. You can combine ICT with that supply right there. In this area, I think it was on GBP USD or Euro USD. Yeah, Euro USD was in this actual zone. This drop was huge as well. And I think this was because of news. So let me go here and I'm gonna go in a 5-minute. Siva Kumar, you're asking for natural gas, crude oil. Okay, let me check. I'll check I'll check those. It's been a long time since I checked natural gas. Very, very long time. Let's see here in the 5-minute. I think this is what happened. Price happening. This was a beautiful move. And you see where it's happening. It's happening on a supply zone. So it's a nice POI. or important zone. We see the price displacing up, sweeping liquidity. Look at the pattern, right? This is accumulation. This is the power of 3. So we have accumulation right here, manipulation, and then we're looking for that distribution, right, to the downside. So we do have an order block confirmation. We have a breaker block. We have a fair value gap right here. Also, like at the top, we do have a BPR, balanced price range. And yeah, a lot of confluences right there for price. The price actually does tap into the BPR. So if you wanted to make your entry probably even better, you could have entered somewhere there if you wanted to. Like when you refine too much that order block or whatever, in this case, the BPR, if you refine too much the entry, sometimes you're going to be missing. Most of the times you're actually going to be missing the positions. So that was a big, big drop. Look at that. Nice accumulation, manipulation, distribution. So that happened on Euro USD, and GBP USD also did that similar move. You know what I mean? So let's go on oil. Oil, I check it from time to time because I do have a couple of students that they do actually trade them. And this is what we have. See right here. I'm using psychological levels as well on oil. Like those who don't know what a psychological level is it's a rounded number. So like every $5, right now we are a little bit above the $80 per barrel. And that's a nice support and resistance in the past, right? Right? Then $5 below the 75, you can use that level as another psychological level. And then 85, that's another level that you could use as a resistance and support, the same thing. So if we are breaking the 80, pulling back for a retest on the 80, what do you think is going to go? Probably we're going to be going all the way up to 85, I'm sorry, right? If you go on H4, right here, you see the structure is actually very bullish and very clear that it's actually strongly bullish. Like that, we have that last break of the structure to the upside. I know ICT don't see this. ICT traders don't mark up the boss, right? Or chalk, just that. We had that push, right? All this impulse right here. We use the fib from the low to the high, expecting probably gold to go a little deeper, tap in the 80, ideally, and then just tap in also the 50%, probably, so for it to be a discount, okay? Remember, we're trying to use the premium and discount. So 50%, this is the recent impulse, and we are right here. If you want to buy and aim all the way to the top, we're still at the premium. So it's probably not good. It's better to wait for a price to be a discount, right? To get a little deeper, boom, and then you go for highs, right? This is the type of mechanical structure. So let's go lower, 1 hour. 1 hour time frame. What do we see? We see that we are in this small channel to the downside. We're looking bearish, right? In lower time frame, when we go low, we are seeing that we are more bearish, kind of like in this. We're currently in this trend, right? So right here, we have a break of a structure. We had the last buy side or a boss, whatever you want to call it, market structure shift. Yeah, it's all the same. All right, so we had an impulse, correction, impulse. We recently swept right here. This is probably that correction. And we might be actually going for this lows. Let me remove this alert. Right here. Right, so we're still seeing that price. I want to see this. I want to see this lows being taken, right? And then probably here in some sort of entry model, we could go for a buy stand. We're still inside this thing. And I like that we are in this sort of channel, right? Okay. So something like that doesn't have to be perfect. So can I go when I buy? Ideally, I would tell you be careful if you want to be buying already. I think this is still going to be going a little bit lower, probably tapping the 80. It's going to be retesting the 80 because you see it, as I mentioned, you go on higher time frame and you see that recent break, right? When you see that strong break that confirms body of the candle closing everything above the 80, pulling back down, ideally you want to see the top, okay? Or at least go back to 50% to be enough, just enough below the 50%, be a discount. And from there, we buy. And then you could be targeting this this old highs. You could be targeting this old highs or the 85 psychological. And when you start going on 15-minute, right now at this hour, I don't trade oil, by the way. I don't trade it. Sometimes I do send some setups to my students, but I don't trade it. I don't know at what time normally moves the best. I guess kind of like the same during either London or New York session normally moves the best, I'd say. So keep an eye right now. Be careful, okay? It's in a position where we should be waiting, okay, to see if price is going to go lower. If you happen to have a good sell entry model, like for example, right here, if you go lower time frame, I think this was spotted by one of the students. Price was tapping into this fair value gap. I think that fair value gap was on a 1 hour, if I'm not mistaken. 4 hour. Had a big displacement to the downside. We had this fair value gap right here, right on H4. And then when we go lower, right here, I'm sure there was an entry as well. This one. You could have entered also in this cell. I think I broke down that entry. But this is the H4. You see? That nice. We are on a POI. We're in an important zone. Right here, price actually did sweep. One more time, that liquidity. What time was this? 4 in the morning. This is London session. So it moves a lot. Very strong during London session, by the way. If I see that big push, then we have that displacement to the downside. This candle closing below this opening price validates our order block. So the next candle is activating the entry. If you wanted to go on a sell here, you enter right there, stop loss above, and then take profit. You could use the fib, the standard deviation projection, to go lower from here, probably targeting this lows. That was probably the safest zone to go with. But that's basically it. Gas prices are already high again at the gas station. Yeah, that's right. So I don't know how to find it here. Natural gas, natural gas, CFD. I don't know which of this one would be. And gas. I'm gonna try. Let me know which one you use, Kumar. Let me know which one you use. I'm gonna select this one. Natural gas. The second one? Okay, hold on. Let me open it again. Natural gas. Jesus, hold on, because I think. Okay, I'm gonna stay in this one. So this This second one, right? From Capital.com. Capital.com. Okay, yeah, got it. Yeah, that's the one I selected. So, okay, that's fine. Let's see. Really have no idea where it is right now, but they went very low. I think I remember like the last time I traded natural gas, that must have been like 2 years ago. It was at the very beginning, like 2.5 years, almost 3 years, I would say. Yeah, almost 3 years. The last time I traded. So let's see if we can find probably a level. Jesus Christ, this was high right here. That was on the 2022. Damn. So, okay, let's try to find a psychological, right? I'm gonna find the $2 probably. Let's see, $2. I guess that's $2 or so. Yep, let's go there on the $2. And yep, on the $2, we see that we had a rejection right there. $2, and then let's just going down. Then 1.5. 1.5. And then the one on top, 2.5. Okay, so this is on a daily. Okay, so I'm just marking up like my psychological levels right there on higher time frame. Now in here, oh my God, I see a lot of gaps in this thing. Lots of gaps. It's difficult to say, but we're in a little range right now. Little accumulation. We recently think we might actually go for lower, to be honest. It just broke the $2 down to $2, and we are retesting, reacting to the downside. Probably expecting this lows. Maybe after this accumulation again, I don't remember this. I mentioned this was like 3 years ago, and I was trading in a very different way, so I don't know exactly. You know why I happen to choose indices is because I know exactly at what time they move the best. If you don't know at what specific time a particular pair moves the best, it's very, how can I say the word in English? It's not pleasant. Like I love, for example, that on NASDAQ, I know that from 8:30 around to 11 a.m., from 8:30 a.m. to 11 a.m., we're going to have a big, like big action, whatever direction, so to the upside or to the downside, we're going to have a lot of action, you know? So on natural gas, I don't know, probably during New York session, we may have more action, but I see that we have big candles right here happening at 6 in the morning, 10 a.m. Yeah, probably New York, I'm guessing. New York session. We are having uh, some action in there. But I think we are in an accumulation phase. We recently retested the $2, and we might actually go lower. I don't know how bad it reacts, how strong it reacts to news as well. Don't know. 8 a.m. in the morning. This is 8 a.m. in the morning. This was a big drop right here, New York session. I'm gonna be checking it out, but probably for the next live, I'll have something. But right now, to be honest, I'm starting to see some movement during 8, 7, 8. This big wicks. This was at 4 p.m., 10 a.m. You see movements, they are very, very different. I think we're bearish. Big money short on natural gas. Yeah. See much bigger candles to the downside. But that's insane. Yeah, we'll have to see. In summer, things changes a little bit, but we will have to see. Let's see if I had. No, I think I showed you already. Euro USD, odd USD. I don't remember if I had something on odd USD. Hold on. We had a lot of rejection in this area. This big moves right there, all this action right here, this were news. I want to wait. One of my students actually was catching, I think it was a buy somewhere here in this area, in this demand. The price pushed, but then it came back again, and this is all news right there. So kind of difficult to say what's going to be happening, there. But this is basically it, guys. Just wanted to break down, kind of have an idea what could happen. I am expecting, personally, I want to see price drop a bit more. We're not too far on NASDAQ. We are not too far, about 160 pips. That's nothing. NASDAQ can do that in a blink of an eye. So this is not too far. I'm expecting the price to pull back a little bit, before continuation to the upside. If it doesn't, it doesn't, right? Anyways, I'm gonna get prepared for whatever situation is. I would like to see the price drop a little bit more. You see the price is kind of coming back down, S&P 500. This big imbalance right there. I want to see price feel that gap, at least part of it, at least that 50% of that gap. Then be looking for entries somewhere around this area for buys, for continuation to the upside. So conclusion, Monday, probably we're going to be choppy. And then we'll see what's going to happen on Tuesday. But I want to see bearish. I think we might actually continue bearish a little bit more before we continue skyrocketing, continue with the, breaking record highs. So anyways, that's basically it, guys. Thanks for being here. I'm going to try to be doing this every Sunday now. We can have every Sunday talk. If you want to discuss probably a particular setup as well that happened to you during the week, you can share the images on my Telegram. So make sure to follow me there, or on my Discord. You can send me your setups, and we can discuss them together. This is for everybody here on the YouTube community. Okay, so that's basically it, guys. I'll see you next week and during the week when I continue posting the content we usually have here. So thank you for watching. You guys take it easy.